What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the Gotham Knights family, meaning the 4 actual knights, the story, the character arcs these characters can go through. What I'm trying to get at in this video, though, is I feel like this could be one of the more underrated gems of the game. At least I hope that it can be. You know, when we look at this game, and whether you're like super critical of it, whether you love it, you know, whatever, I think one aspect, or maybe two if you count them separately, that has kind of been overlooked in this game has been the grand story and the characters themselves, the actual knights, their relationships with each other, and how they will grow throughout the game. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or a wrong thing that these have been overlooked, you know, because ultimately I think a lot of people have focused on Batman not being the main character, Batman being dead, the gameplay, the detective elements, the actual hand-to-hand stuff, traversal, villains, like these are the things people have focused on. And ultimately, the game will most likely sink or swim on those things, right? If the game is just flat-out garbage when it comes to gameplay, it doesn't matter how good the story and characters are. Someone like me, I'd probably be able to ride it through. But for most people, I would argue gameplay is king, and you can tolerate bad story and characters if the gameplay is fun, but you can't necessarily tolerate bad gameplay because that's the thing that you're doing nonstop. So again, I'm not saying like it's a massive negative that people are, you know, we're all in the wrong because we haven't focused on it. And I do think it hasn't been focused on. There's, I guess, that argument where it's like, well, Alex, no, they've focused on it. I mean, yeah, they've shown cutscenes, they've shown clips. The general theme of this game is this kind of, well, I was going to say brotherhood, but it's really like a knighthood, right, between these 4 characters. And again, though, ultimately, and I've said this before in videos, I do think when all is said and done, this is the biggest swing that the game has. I feel like the story with the court, not even just with the Court of Owls, but just how it plays itself out. I mean, I guess the Court of Owls are a big part of it, right? But how the story plays itself out and how the characters interact with each other and grow from being like these lost puppies that, you know, Batman, because he died, right? Like, there's nobody to take care of them, and they blossom into their own, where they're basically, you know, 4 individual Batmans by the end of the game. That could be very, very cool. And it could be very special, and it's something that I, again, will liken to, and of course we don't know this till the game comes out, but I would liken to like a Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. That game was never really promoted all that well. The gameplay never looked all that good, at least to me. I thought the gameplay was the weakest element. And then the story and characters from the trailer and any kind of extended gameplay we got never really shined through like at all. I don't think it was awful. I think the gameplay was like the closest thing to looking bad. But bottom line is, when the game came out, it was incredible, in my opinion, all the way around. The gameplay was probably the weakest element, but it was still actually really good and way better than I thought it was going to be. But the story and characters kind of carried Guardians of the Galaxy. Can we kind of agree on that, right? Story, the characters, the relationships, the emotion, they really carried that game. If Gotham Knights can do that, and then the gameplay just holds itself up, it doesn't have to be revolutionary, it doesn't have to be necessarily even Batman Arkham, it can be its own thing, and, you know, you can like it, you can say, it's okay, as long as it's not, like, atrocious, or even, I guess, bad, right? Then I think it's a pretty solid product. Again, it's something I've been saying for this game for a while. I think this game is going to come out and be pretty okay, but not like insanely amazing, but not insanely bad. I really feel like that's where this game is kind of destined to land, which is up to you if you want to look at that as a positive or negative. The thing that worries me when I say swing, right? Because it's a swing in a positive direction if the story is really good. And I think the story has the best chance of being good of the two. In my opinion, right now, looking at how the knights interact with each other, the voice acting, the dialogue, the animations, all of that stuff, if I were to say which one I feel more confident in that they can pull off, I think it's the overall story with the court and just that kind of detective element and what's really going on in this city. Maybe some of the stuff with the side villains can be really cool as well. Like that's where I'm thinking if there's going to be like an overlooked gem part of this game, that's what it's going to be. The bigger swing, I should say, right, in my opinion, is the Knights. Because sometimes I'm fine with what they've shown. I've never been blown away one time, not once, with anything regarding the Knights. Not the voice acting, not the I just re-say what I just said, right? Voice acting, dialogue, animations, like anything like that, I haven't been blown away one time. It's been serviceable many times. It's also been, in my opinion, bad, where I've literally walked away and said, that wasn't good. It's been that a couple times as well. So the swing is very real when it comes to these, because again, I would not be surprised, especially if the story is good. If the story is good, the chances of the characters being pretty okay is high, I think, right? Because then it just kind of relies on, well, the dialogue may be okay, because if it's the same writers, it'll be fine, but maybe the voice acting isn't up to snuff, maybe it's them, like, whatever the reason may be. You know what I mean? But that is what I'm concerned about, because on the other side of things, it could be really bad, in my opinion. It could kind of be kind of more cliche. It could be lazy. It could be just kind of weak overall. It could be badly written. Again, there's a lot of things with any game, honestly. It's not just Gotham Knights, but we're talking about it here. That's the whole point. With any game, like, that's a serious concern. If those characters, as I say, if those characters fall apart, and like, yes, you'll only play as one of them at a time, but there'll be cutscenes with all of them, and you'll have the free will to change and become other ones. And I would even argue, if there's like a few horrible characters in here and the rest aren't, again, that's a gamble you take, because again, the upside is it's a co-op game that you can play cooperatively, that could actually very much help this game, right? The ability to change characters, the ability to find your play style, that's really good. But also, again, the swing of it is, if you make a game where you have 4 characters and 2 of them are either badly acted, the dialogue's awful, the character arcs are awful, they're whiny, they're annoying, they're whatever, or the gameplay of them is awful, like you just cannot, you don't like how they feel. Now, yes, people will find their rhythm with one of these characters, most likely more than the others. But I'm talking about a character that's just flat out bad, right? Difference between, oh, I like this character more than I like that character. There's a difference between that and, well, this character's good, this character's awful, so why would I ever play as them, right? Again, that goes maybe into that is more gameplay heavy. But also, if the voice acting is terrible, if the lines are bad, like the dialogue is badly written, why would you want to play? And say you notice that with Red Hood. Well, why would you want to play as Red Hood? You're going to be able to hear him talk the most. So, that would be annoying to you. Again, like, these are just what-if scenarios. I don't know what's going to actually happen. Again, I'm hoping for the best for this game. But I wanted to make this video just because I've been thinking this. We've been saying it in passing in some of these videos and live streams. But I really do believe story has a big swing and can honestly probably surprise people in how good it could be, because I think it could be good, and if it is, that's great. And then the characters, again, huge swing as well. I think we could leave this game and say, wow, that was like a fun thing with these 4 characters. There was emotion there, there was care, there was some comedy, whatever. And you could say that, but I also think we could easily walk out of this game and say that was horribly written. These characters are not good. We didn't like, and that can hold the game back. Again, that goes back to the very first point. I don't think that would destroy the game. I think the gameplay would destroy the game. I think that would just hurt the game. I mean, review scores or just how you feel about the game in general, right? If the characters are bad, that's going to pull it back a little bit. So let me know what you guys think about all of that in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media is in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.